Assalamu alaikum students, this is Majid Tahir, your teacher for computer science. The subject code computer science A level is 9618 and for O levels is 0478 and 22104 for Cambridge. Let's start the topic. So the topic that we are doing today is arrays. We also call them data structure. So we will be talking about one-dimensional arrays and two-dimensional arrays. First of all, let's talk about the data type for arrays. Similarly, like variables, we have to store arrays with a name, a meaningful name, and a appropriate data type. So integer is for whole numbers. We know that if we want to store decimal number, we will take real data type. For logical value like true or false, data type boolean. For char is the data type for a single character like M for male or F for female. String is a data type that stores text. The text can include text, alphabet, numbers, special characters, spaces. So if you store numbers as a string data type, you will not be able to apply mathematical operations on that string data type if it stores even numbers. Date can be used to store dates, for example, date of birth or date of joining, etc. If we are using a loop and counting in the loop, we have to store the variable count as the whole number, which is going to be integer. Now, one-dimensional arrays definition can be array is a special variable that has one name and it can store multiple values in it. For example, if we are storing 10 names of students, we have to, if we do not use array, we have to use 10 different variables for names. For example, variable for name 1, name 2, name 3 can be all separate variables, which will be time consuming and difficult. So array comes handy. Array allow us to save space also, save coding lines also. So we can give one name, upper bound of array in it, size of the array in it, and we can store as many values as we have given the upper bound. So in some programming languages, element of index can start from 0 instead of 1. So if you're storing 10 names, starting with 0, it's going to be in name 0-9 means that the first index is going to be 0 and the last index is going to be 9. So this is what we are having over here. So it also stores 10 names. 0-9 means that it's storing 10 names. Each value of an element is pointed by an index. So a newly declared array will be a blank array. For example, this one that you're looking at is a newly declared array and it is a blank array. The names that you're looking at right now in this one is just for references that we're using names. So normally in pseudocodes, we start an index with 1. So if you're declaring 10 arrays, if you're declaring 10 names, it is going to be 1-10. So 1 is the lower bound, means that it is the starting value of the array. 10 is the upper bound. Upper bound means that it is a maximum value of an array. So array of 10 names can be declared as declare name 1-10 array of string. So this is also a declaration of an array in pseudocode. Declare name 1-10 colon string. Also another similar command, you can declare array as declare name 1-10 as string also, or declare name bracket 10 colon string. So all these three commands is one and the same thing. You can write any one of them to declare an array. Then we have if you're for example taking an index 0, so 0 as a first index, so declare name. So declare name 0-9 colon string is going to be also the same thing, and lower bound is going to be 0, as we've talked about this one, and the upper bound is going to be 9, which is the maximum value, which is this one. So let's move forward. Some important points to consider that when we are declaring an array, we have to give a meaningful name. So meaningful name means that, for example, if we're declaring an array with a name and we're storing name in it, we will not declare, for example, declare is going to be the keyword of our array. We will not declare with the name ABC bracket 10 colon string. We will not do that because ABC doesn't reflect that what ABC can store. So instead of ABC, if we write declare as the keyword of declaration, or creation, and name bracket 10 colon string. So looking at this name, it's visible and understood that some names are going to be inserted in this array. So these are the meaningful names that we have to use all the time. Size of the array is this, basically, that we are storing maximum 10 names in it. You can store 100 names in it, you can store 1000, depending on what is the size of array. This is called also upper bound. So size of the array and data type, this is the data type that we have used. So string data type is used because we know that alphabets are used in the string data type. So this is just for reference that values initially the array will be blank. So if we have this code, for example, declare name 10 as strings, we know that this array is storing 10 names. If there is already data in it, name bracket 1 has Ali, so it will display Ali. Name bracket 7 has John, so it will display John. So if you see that these two lines are basically comments. You can insert comment in any programming language also, and in the pseudocodes also. So this is the comment saying that name 1 has Ali because name 1 has slot has Ali in it, and name 7 has John, so it will display. If you specifically write that print name 1, it will only print the first slot. If you specifically say that name 7 has whatever, print that, so it will print John because name 7 has John in it. Now let's see a pseudocode to declare an array. So begin, declare count as integer, and declare name 5. So when you declare count, so we are basically we've created a variable of count which will initially have a blank value. Initially count if it is integer, so initially by default it will have 0 in it. Name, when you say declare name 5 colon string, computer will automatically generate a one-dimensional array of names which will have 5 empty slots in it. And when you declare marks bracket 5 colon integer, so it will automatically create another array for marks with an integer data type. Also it will be blank initially. For count is equal to 1 to 5, enter name count. So when we write this command, initially the loop has started. So for count is equal to 1 to 5, loop we know that is going to start with 1 and it will go up till 5 because we are going to fill 5 values in it. Enter name is going to be displayed as it is on the screen because it is a in inverted commas. In count, initially whatever count will have the value initially, because when loop started count is initially 1. So it will say enter name count. In your output screen it will be written enter name 1 because count is initially 1, and whatever you enter goes into name count. So name count basically is name 1 because count is initially 1, so name 1. So whatever you enter, let's suppose I have entered Ali, so Ali goes in this name 1, and it says enter marks of name count, so it will be written enter marks of as it is because it is written in the speech marks. Name count has initially name 1 has value because name count is name 1 basically. So name 1 has a value Ali, it will say enter marks of Ali. So it will be given. So whatever marks we will be giving, it is going to marks count. Count is initially, because we have count initially 1. So it is 1 mark 1 slot. So this is this one. So we input, for example, 90. So 90 goes in this one. So next count will bring our loop back into the count. Now count becomes 2. So again enter name 2 will be written, and we will be writing, for example, Hassan over here, and it will say name 2, and name 2 will be Hassan. Enter marks of over here, instead of Ali, now it will say Hassan. So marks 2 slot we will have, for example, we have written 95, 95 goes there. The loop goes back again in the next, again back to the count, and the count becomes 3. So we will have something over here, something over here. loop goes back, count becomes 4, we will have fourth value, loop goes back, count becomes 5, we'll have fifth value. So the loop will basically keep on running and it will fill all the values in our arrays. So for displaying, if we have for name 1 to 5, this is for displaying the value. If it says count 1 to 5, again this loop is going to be initialized with 1 and it will go up till 5. It says in print is the output command. It says name count. So name count initially has in 1, when loop is initially 1, it'll say name count means that name count 1. So name 1 basically has scored marks 1. So this is when we are actually in 1. So it'll be it'll say Ali has scored 90. Loop goes back, name becomes count becomes 2 over here, count becomes 2. We are on the second slot. It says Hassan has scored 95. Loop goes back again, third slot, loop goes back again, fourth slot, loop goes back again, fifth slot, all will be printed. Let's see a Visual Basics program, the similar program that we were just seeing in the pseudocode. It's name bracket 5 colon as string, dim marks bracket 5 as integer. So in basically this line we know that, so this is basically declaration. We know that dim is the command for declare in the, we know that dim is the command for declare in the pseudocode. So this is basically when you say name, when you say name 5 in marks 5, these two lines, when you write these two lines in the code, it will basically create two arrays similarly. It will create one array for names, one array for marks. When we are in this loop, basically it says console or write line input name count. So when we are inside the loop, for this one it will be working the same way. Console or write line, we know that is the output command. So input name again will be written and count is basically this over here. So same way we will be inputting names, we will be inputting marks of that. There is one more thing over here. If you see that in while loop, it's a check, it's a range check given over here, because if user inputs something above 100, if user inputs marks above 100 or below 0, it will say re-enter marks, because in exam less than 0 is not allowed, or 100 more than 100 is also not possible. So the range is from 0 to 100. So this is one more check that user doesn't enter or student doesn't enter invalid marks. So if you input these, for example, input name 1 when the loop was in 1, loop was in slot 1, it says name input 1, we rewrote Ali, marks of Ali in the name mark slot 1 is 90, loop goes back in the next count. So marks name, second name was Hassan, so Hassan, marks of Hassan were 95. So third was Nile, marks of Nile were 98. Then we had input John, marks of John 67. Then input Tom is the slot 5th and marks 75. Now let's suppose we've entered these values. Now this second loop, this one is for outputting the marks. So it will say name count has scored marks count. So when you do this, name count has scored marks count, it's going to display all the names and has scored in all the marks. So we will be getting this output. Ali has scored 90 because Ali was in first slot and 90 was in the first slot also. In loop basically 1 is being repeated. in second line, when count becomes 2 in the loop, it has this line, Hassan scored 95, so this was this one and this one. Third was Nile, and Nile scored in 98. Fourth was John, so this one and this one. John scored 67. Fifth was Tom, so this one and this one. So Tom scored 75. Now when 5 names and 5 marks are printed, program is going to stop or end the loop, and this will be end of the inserting values in an array and then displaying the values from the array. So this is it. I hope you have understood the concept. Please like and subscribe my YouTube channel, which is Majid Tahir 61. Like and subscribe my YouTube video, free notes, videos and resources on my website www.majidtahir.com. So book A-levels or O-levels online classes at fikr.org, which is my web portal. So please like and subscribe the channel, and please give your feedback in comments if you have liked this video and you've understood the concept. Thank you so much. Allah